Okay, so I'm Lindsay with Educational Measures, and I'm here with Mr. Dominguez. If you would tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Michael Dominguez. I am the Chief Sales Officer for MGM Resorts. So my main responsibility is covering 42,000 rooms on the Strip on any given night. But we also have properties that are regional in nature. Then I'm involved heavily in the meetings industry. So I'm a past chair of MPI, Meeting Professionals International. I sit on the board of the U.S. Travel Association. I'm on the executive committee with U.S. Travel. I sit on GBTA's board, FICP's board. So kind of
Just
the alphabet soup. Yeah, the alphabet soup of our industry. But I appreciate that because it gives me a really good perspective of what's going on in a variety of sectors. We tend to get insulated. And we tend to be insular in how we think, and this allows me to make sure I'm looking at a broad perspective of our industry. So that helped me with yesterday's session that I did.
Yeah, and tell us just kind of a 2-minute brief on yesterday's session.
Sure.
There was a lot that was covered, but you can think of maybe just some top points.
Absolutely. It's pretty simple. We do, or I like to cover what I call the state of the industry, and it takes a look at macroeconomic trends, it takes a look at our hotel industry as a whole, and then we look at meeting dynamics and what's happening in meeting architecture and how we learn and the difference of our attendees and what that looks like today. So, some of the biggest takeaways are really simple. We're at record demand like we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And we've had no new supply introduced into the meetings market. So this is creating a major challenge for many of our meeting professionals. They can't find space. And that's not changing anywhere over the next couple of years. So it's just the pipeline. And it has to do with the mechanics of the banking regulations. And we don't think about all of those pieces all coming together and what that looks like. But the banking industry and how that has to be unregulated a little bit or loosened a little bit so that we can start to build again is part of the conundrum that we're all dealing with. And then one of the other takeaways is at a time that we're not building any new ballrooms and we're at record demand, our largest meetings are the only ones that are growing. So the biggest meetings are the ones growing right when we have no space. So a little bit of a challenge. Macroeconomics, of course, we have a new administration. We need to know how that's going to settle down from a business perspective, what that's going to mean for us long term. We're still looking at Europe. Europe has its own challenges with keeping the EU together and some real challenges with a couple of economies and a couple of elections that are coming up this year. And then we look at the meeting dynamics trends, and it's a variety of changes. And we're moving fast and candidly not fast enough to make sure that we are ready for the new audience that is coming in. And probably one of the biggest takeaways we looked at is we no longer have attendees at meetings, we have participants.
Yeah.
And this meeting was a great example of it. Being able to ask questions as we're presenting, to have the iPads that everybody is utilizing to be more interactive and engage with it, that's more participatory than receiving. And that was a nice change to see here because that's a dynamic that's changing in the meetings as a whole.
Yeah, great. Well, we are very excited to see you at the end of the day.
Thank you. Actually, I'm going to speak in just a few minutes about leadership, and it's leadership today because if you take all those changes, how do you incorporate that into leading a different dynamic? Because it's very different today to lead an organization than it was even 10 or 15 years ago, and we're going to look through some of that because it's a dramatic shift on how we look at the world. So there's some major changes in there.
Well, we are very excited to hear all about it. Thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. I'm excited to be here. It's been a lot of fun.
Great.
Thank you.